Michael.
So for Genesis, what has been the most impressive thing about his development over the last couple of years?
His leadership ability. He's been the young one in the group. He's always been a great athlete and a good player. But he's really emerged as a vocal leader, emotional leader of not only the defensive back group, but I think of this team. And he's really taken that challenge on. I mean, we need his energy. His energy is infectious. I mean, you talk to him, can't help but love the guy, and that radiates throughout the team. Where being the young guy early on, he might not have had that. So I'm really impressed with his leadership skills, and where that's gone.
And of course, you want everybody to stay healthy, but the situation that you guys went through last year, what did he show you just kind of maneuvering around, keep those three spots and excelling at it?
It's hard to do. It's super impressive. And, to be able to learn the whole defense and play it at a high level like he does, I mean, that's a luxury. We obviously, like you said, you don't want to get in those situations, but we're always trying to prepare and put guys in different positions. And he's naturally a great middle of the field safety. Like that's his strong point, in my opinion. That's his best, his greatest gift. And he's been doing the best for the team and being out of that position. Shows his unselfishness. He can draw up the whole defense, draw all 11. That's big time.
Michael and David.
You have a pretty veteran group, hard to break through for a young guy, but it seems like if anyone it's Coleman Patman. At least to some degree, what has stood out about his performance so far?
I keep telling him how proud I am of him and his growth so early. It's really hard, especially for young guys, to take the meeting room to the field. There's just something about repetition, right, and doing it. But he's really been able to transition and take everything we talk about in the meeting room and take it and transition it to the field. And a lot of times, that comes later with comfort, and guys get comfortable and they have more reps. So being able to do that, and he's not scared, man. I mean, he goes out there and he'll cover Chris Hudson, and he doesn't bat an eye. And you need that kind of, that kind of mindset to be a guy out there. You're going to get beat sometimes, and that's the way it goes at defensive back. You got to bounce back, and I'm super proud of him.
David and then Jason.
Coach, your defensive backs have made it extremely difficult for the first team offense in this camp so far. Why do you believe that is?
Their comfort level with one another, and they kind of are really good. They're comfortable in the defense. They're comfortable with one another. So disguising, showing Noah different looks, changing up the picture. I think Noah's one of the best quarterbacks in the country, and having veteran group like you guys just talked about, those guys know what quarterbacks are looking for and how to try and manipulate them. And we talk about it's a game within the game. It's trying to change up his reads or give him a look pre-snap, change it post-snap to make it difficult on those guys. And they're so comfortable with each other and in this defense now after the spring that they're able to do that.
And what's the biggest thing you're asking, the biggest step you're asking Jack Latrell to take this year?
His biggest step is because he's going to be counted on to do more than just be a middle safety. He was just a middle safety last year, play some different roles. To bring that physicality every day. He's another one kind of like Genesis. He's got some range in the post and really good. That's his strong point as well. And to continue to grow his game, he's gotten stronger in the offseason, which will help. But that physicality in the box, we're going to need that from him.
Jason and Troy.
This seems to be, at least my perspective on him, but Gavin Hunter's best camp.
For sure.
What do you think's clicked for him, and why is that?
Gavin has always been a hard worker. He's continually gotten stronger. And sometimes, we talk about, I was just saying, repetitions where Coleman's been able to do it with less reps and it clicked early on. Sometimes it just takes a little bit more reps. He's also gotten stronger and faster, so that helps. Matchups with faster receivers. I'm super proud. I agree, and I've told Gav that too. He's having his best camp. He's doing a phenomenal job, making plays on the ball. He's been physical. You can see he's finally comfortable out there, and I think it's just a culmination of all the work he's done off the field and on.
Troy and Justin.
A guy like Stacey Baker who was playing linebacker out of high school and then I think did his first year a little bit. Mm-hmm. Now you've moved him into the DB room. How's his transition How difficult of a switch is that for a guy that's been mostly linebacker his whole career?
It's difficult in some areas, and it helps in some areas. I think when it comes to playing the run in the box, he's doing it from a little bit deeper, so that helps, and he has that natural feel for that. And then you're just working on the coverage piece, which is obviously a big deal when you're playing safety. And I'm proud of Stace. The hard part with him is because we have some veteran guys taking up a lot of those reps, is trying to continue to grow his game with limited reps, and he's been doing a really good job. You see him covering guys in one-on-one. He's been getting better. I think the best football is ahead for Stacy for sure.
Justin and then David.
Were you involved in Gavin's recruitment when he was coming out of high school?
Yes.
Tell us about just when you guys first established that connection and how that's grown and how much he's grown both on and off the field.
Man, coming from Hawaii, he was playing corner in his high school film, so you saw some coverability, you saw the physicality. He was lean, we knew it would take some time to get stronger, get the weight on him, get faster. But one thing we knew about Gavin was he was going to work relentlessly to do that. You were just waiting for it to finally kind of click, like you said earlier, and that happened. I think Gav's grown a ton off the field too, in terms of helping the young guys in the room. It's not just about his development. He's taking younger guys under his wing as well. He's one of the older guys in the group, maybe not snap-wise in game, but, being in the system, being in this program for a while, knowing the standards. And he's continuing to chase those guys, the Genesises and the Stukes and challenge those guys, and I think it's elevating his game. I'm proud of what he's done on the field, super proud of him off the field, and the best is yet for him too. And
how has Trayden mentored him?
Unc is taking everybody under his wing. The greatest thing about Stukes is, he does everything right. He doesn't make very many mistakes. And when he does, it's great because then it's a teachable moment. And, those guys can see, like, shoot, we all make mistakes because he is kind of the gold standard in that room, especially for that position. So for those guys, like one-on-ones, you guys watch, there's lines going all across. So I can be coaching somebody and then I can say, hey, Stukes, grab him. What'd you see there before? What'd you see? Oh, he should have done this. I agree. He's like having another coach out there. He really likes that role, and those guys listen to him because they see him do it at a high level. So sometimes, it's like parenting. Those kids get tired of hearing, those guys get tired of hearing me sometimes. So just, hey, Stukes, having that voice and it not always coming from me, but being that same message is a good change up, and I'm happy to have him.
David and then Troy.
Coach, just to kind of follow on that, is there been a time in the film room where you just sat back and said to yourself, wow, man, these guys just have it all together?
Every day. Every day. I tell everybody, like when scouts come through or just I'm talking to people, how's it going? Like I'm so fortunate and so blessed, and it's so cool for me because we've been together for so long now. It's a culmination of all these years together. They are so comfortable. They are so savvy and smart. We can pick each other's brains. I always tell them, I'll have ideas, but you guys are the ones that do it. So what do you think? Because you got to execute it. If I feel real strongly in something, we'll say, hey, we're going to do this, and maybe they feel a different way, and we'll go try that. It's a mutual relationship, and I think, I'm fortunate to have that. It's not always that case where guys can kind of, we say, solve the puzzle. What our offense is giving you, what are the different ways we can cover things. Those guys, think about the game and know all the different situations and the different ideas, and that's super fun.
Troy and Brian.
One of the guys that I don't want to say necessarily goes under the radar, but we'll talk about Genesis, they talk about Trayden, but Dalton Johnson in his game, how has he grown from last year, going through, injuries and all that in the secondary and then growing into the player he is today?
Yeah, I think, Dalton's as good as it gets. I think he's probably the best tackler on the team, in my opinion. If not the best, he's one of the best. He's always hunting the ball, as you've seen in years past. He finds a way to get it out, punch outs, rake outs. He's physical, and he's really grown his game outside of that in the coverage aspect. And I think, with Coach Daggy and their scheme and the receivers we have, the depth has been great for him just to continue to work against great opponents, hard route concepts, and putting in those positions. He's really grown his game in that aspect, and not just, being the physicality piece, but also being able to cover guys.
Brian and Justin.
Now, I know a guy like Stoops envisions playing in the pros, and you can see that. But when you see guys like that that have that kind of coaching act, do you ever maybe pull them aside and say, hey, when you're done playing, this is something you should really approach, or do you not really put that in their heads?
I don't really put it in their heads, to be honest, because a lot, some guys think they want to do it, and us, hey, I'm here to support you anyway. But to push them into that, some of those guys, they'll be like, I love playing, but I don't want to coach because I don't want the time demands. They see the time demands it is on us and our families. So some of them are like, yeah, I don't want to do that right away. If they do, or like, have you thought about it? A lot of them will say that. Same with like Genesis and stuff. I kind of just stay away from that and just keep it football and, off the field, what's going on with family, but not really pushing them. If they ever came to me and asked, I'd be all about it and help them any way I can.
One last question, Justin.
What stood out to you when you looked at Kason Brown's tape?
You saw ranginess in the back end. You saw ball skills. You didn't see the man piece, but you saw the physicality and the range and the playmaking ability. I also love guys that are multi-sport athletes. He's a hooper. I love basketball players. You can watch them play defense and how they move their feet and see how that would translate to the football field. How he can shoot passing lanes on the basketball court and read is similar to a football field and taking great angles. I think all those skills transition. So seeing not only his football skills and his range on the football field, but seeing him on the basketball court, and the dude, he was a monster. He was, averaging a ton of points and was a defensive guy. I love that. And then just his personality, I felt like would fit with the room, with our guys, and it really has. Because as good of players as you're looking to get, you're trying to find guys that are right fit for this program, and he checked all the boxes.
And most of the DBs you guys signed are from the state of Texas. How was it going through that recruiting cycle and just recruiting from those programs and moving around the state to get those guys?
It's been good. That was a big time focus for us, especially moving into the Big 12, is establishing that footprint, because we've been so heavy West Coast in the Pac-12, and we did a good job. And I think we found the right guys, in my opinion. I think you're seeing some good stuff. We talked about Coleman. I think Swade's having a great camp. And Kason, I think he's got the best football ahead of him. He's got two really good guys ahead of him in Jack and Genesis to learn from. I think as he continues to get stronger, put some more weight on, and really develop maturity-wise, I think he's going to be a really good player.
Thank you.